Is astrology a guide to aid us in mastering the universe? This is the Cosmic Community Podcast with Galactic Ambassador Stacey Dredd. This astrology report is for the week of July 29th, moving us into a new month. And we have a couple of things going on this week, creating a little bit of change in the energies. But we do have a lot of planets that are going retrograde and moving in a retrograde fashion. So that slows things down a bit too. So a little bit of a mix of energies this week. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. I mean, we start on July 29th with the Libra moon. And Libra is all about peace and harmony and balance and likes to bring that mood in. So that could be our focus when the moon is moving through a sign. That is the mood that we are generally going for and vibing with. And so Libra is also a very fair type of energy. That's that balance, likes to be able to see the different sides of things and weigh out the differences and make a fair call based on the different sides and the different perspectives that were weighed out. And there's also a lot of action on this day. And so it could just be kind of busy, feel like there are a lot of different things pulling your energy in different directions, right? There's like that over there that needs to be taken care of, and I need to run over there and take care of that, and I need to think about this. And so the moon making a lot of aspects on Tuesday the 29th, creating a lot of just different types of activity. And also, we do have Jupiter in Cancer right now, and Jupiter is a big energy. Jupiter is going to be slowing down to retrograde here in the beginning degrees of Cancer. But when Jupiter is in Cancer, it's going to be exaggerating these moods. Cancer is a very emotional sign and sort of is ruled by the moon. And when the moon, makes these moves, then Jupiter is going to activate that Cancer energy and expand that mood, and is going to make things bigger and even exaggerate things a bit. Jupiter is just that type of energy. When it's in Cancer, it's going to be expanding our emotions and make everything feel a bit more intense with all that Jupiter energy. But there is, I believe, a wisdom available there through Jupiter, through the emotions. So this is how you use what's available, is that, okay, right now I know Jupiter is going to be expanding these emotions. So every time that I have a big, strong, intense feeling and emotion that comes through, I know it's being ruled by the god of the gods, by Jupiter, who Jupiter is the wisdom keeper. There is a knowledge that is given when Jupiter is around, the ultimate of the energies there. Also, good luck. So you can always know that your benevolence is in mind there. So working through these emotions in the way that the energies are asking us to do that. On July 30th, we have Chiron, the asteroid Chiron, which is very much considered in astrology to be one of the primary players. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron deals with our wounds. Chiron stationing retrograde at 27 degrees of Aries, and will be moving back to 22 of Aries. So you can look in your chart and see where this Chiron retrograde is going to be digging up some wounds for you. Where is 22 to 27 degrees in your birth chart? What house is that in? What planets or points are there? and what is going to be affected and what are you being asked to look at through this Chiron retrograde. The wounds and the wounding become very well known. You're sort of the scars, the scars that we hold from our past wounds can come up. Past traumas tend to surface a bit. And this is all for our greater good, of course, because Chiron, as the story goes, Chiron became a master of these wounds, the wounds that we carry, our personal wounds. We master them through this Chiron energy. And then we use those as super powers to empower ourselves and to empower others to find their own superhero powers through their wounds. So this is about alchemy. This is about turning the things that we think are against us into the things that we can work with. We can learn from every situation and from every downfall and from every point that is challenging. That is something that is building our character and is sharpening our blade. Iron sharpens iron. So let these areas that are challenging build you and give you strength and show you the courage that is available in Aries anyways. This is in Aries, and Aries is like confident, bold, going the extra mile to do the things that we'd like to do, because Aries is an initiator and wants to get things started. So, very, very, very interesting things to think about with this Chiron retrograde. And then Venus, the planet of the heart and of our love and of money and our value systems and trust and all the beautiful things in life. The feminine energy, Venus, moves into a new sign. She moves into Cancer and joins Jupiter there. So that is going to be shifting the feminine energy, going to be moving the areas of our life that I just mentioned, those pleasurable things, where our heart is. Those themes are going to be moving into new areas that we're going to be moving towards more Cancerian themes, Cancer themes, the home, the family, the secure places that make us feel safe, and Cancer, again, that watery, emotional energy. And then the moon moves into Scorpio on the evening of July 30th, and on July 31st, we have one of the probably going to be a key player this week in a turning point of the week. We have the Sun coming in to a conjunction with Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is moving backwards through Leo right now, the Sun at about 8 degrees as we speak. But let me actually move this ahead to the 31st. I like to keep my charts up to date here so that I have the correct aspects here. Yeah, the Sun has moved into Leo. We're in Leo season, the beauty of the lion and even a little bit of that laziness of the lion comes into play, and we get Mercury is moving back over the Sun at about 9 degrees is where this conjunction is taking place. This is also a very busy lunar day, and we get a lot of action, and it's going to be highlighted by this conjunction. And there's going to be absolutely some messaging that comes through for these retrograde activities that are taking place here. So Mercury started moving backwards on July 18th. 18th and starts moving forward again on August 11th. So we're about right smack in the middle of this retrograde, and it's the longest one of the year. This is a 24-day retrograde, and I remember saying that I thought it was going to be a pretty impactful one, and it was just going to have a lot of energy with it. In Leo, it's with the sun energy, so it's just, it affects everything. The sun affects everything. So when anything happens in Leo, it's like the center of everything has changed, and so everything has to change to move around it in the way that we do. So right smack in the middle of this Mercury retrograde, we get the sun in a conjunction, and it's going to bring some more brilliance in, and it's going to bring some messaging from the gods, because that's what Mercury does in retrograde. We get the messages that remind us and show us where in our lives we're needing to go back and adjust some things and make some changes in order for the energies to be able to move forward in a more efficient way and in a way that is more in line with where we are at in our lives. So this messaging coming through 9 degrees of Leo, and it's going to be a brilliant little poppy moment. It could happen anytime this week. Look out for your messaging. This retrograde in Leo is all about finding our heart center again. There has been a lot of action in Leo. We had Mars in a retrograde here not that long ago. And we do have the South Node fast approaching Leo. So Leo energy, folks with a lot of Leo energy in their charts, that area of our lives is being affected. And we are going through some changes there, and everything is being very well supported by the universe. I wanted to bring back in and mention again the minor grand trine that is taking place with all of the outer planets. Kind of zoom out away from the weekly report for a second and talk about this bigger cycle that's taking place. Many months ago, this minor grand trine between the outer planets became pretty darn close to being a perfect aspect. 2 sextiles and a trine is what makes a minor grand trine. And it's between Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. So yeah, all the outer planets, which are creating the grander themes that are taking place in the world. They're helping change the zeitgeist, right, of society. You see large changes taking place when these bigger planets move into new signs, which all 4 of them have just done. And then they just happen to be in this minor grand trine, which is very, very supportive. It's smooth. It's fast. It's harmonious. It is just really nice energy for all these planets to have just changed into new signs where they're still trying to stabilize, still trying to figure out what this next energy is all about and how they're going to work with it. And so we feel this in our lives. There's all kinds of newness coming in. We are peaking into these future points. We are almost jumping ahead on the timeline and then zipping back again. There is a readying, there is a prepping, there is almost like a psychic knowing about what's a highly tuned, intuitive knowing about the coming things, the change that is taking place, the new ideas that are forming, and these new areas that are coming into play, and it's happening, and it's kind of rare. This minor grand trine, really, it is, and it's happening at a beautiful, beautiful time, and it's very, very supportive. So, big changes coming in, big new feelings. Like yesterday, I felt like I was this person. And today I feel like I'm this person, and I felt a certain way then, and I'm seeing that I'm feeling a different way now, that these big changes in life are very well supported and a little rare. So you want to work with these rare energies when they're here. So that leads us into August, and August has a little bit of a slow start when it comes to aspects, but there's a couple of things going on. Venus, just having moved into the sign of Cancer, feeling into her emotions more, becoming a little more guarded, a little more into the safety and security of the familiar places and people. She comes into a square with Saturn, Neptune at 1 to 2 degrees, both of them right hovering between 1 and 2 degrees of Aries. And this is part of that new energy that's taking place, because these first degrees of Aries, it's known as the world point. And when we have a lot of action here, we see big changes on the world stage. So Saturn and Neptune are both conjunct, and they are both retrograding out of Aries back to Pisces this year and won't return to Aries until 2026. So that's why I was saying we're peeking into the future. We're just dipping our toes in. We're having these like intuitive blasts about places that we're headed and things that are coming up, and that's all included in this Saturn, Neptune, and Venus comes into a square here. So a challenging aspect, being faced with the reality, yet setting up the hopes and dreams and desires. Neptune represents our dreams. Saturn is the realness, brings in the rationality, the sort of the restrictions and the boundaries. And Neptune is actually the boundaryless, ethereal type of energy. So this is a conflictual Saturn-Neptune conjunction already. Venus squaring off to them, having some challenges, with potentially some of these areas that we're moving into, these future places that are coming onto the world stage. But it's quick because Venus is moving at her normal speed. She's going to zip by those first couple degrees of Cancer. So that will only just be kind of a brief peak. And then also because Pluto is in that sextile, that Pluto's involved in that. So it could be a little deep. It could be a little dark. This is Friday, August 1st. That's going to have some challenges, and we're going to need to make some adjustments here, potentially take some action also that, might help us to gain some ground here. And on August 2nd, Mars in an inconjunct to Chiron. Chiron having gestation retrograde. When a planet is sitting still in that stationary status, it is felt very, very strongly. So this day, Saturday, August 2nd, another day that our wounds are going to come in. And Mars is the physical body. So we could be literally coming into contact with some of our physical wounds, making some adjustments to these things. These are like the wounds that we've had our whole life, or potentially even the wounds that have come in through our ancestral lines or our previous past lives that we're going to carry through this life into our future lives to come. The moon then moves into Sagittarius on the evening of August 2nd. And Sagittarius is a more adventurous energy. It's going to be a little more outgoing, a little more energetic, a little more fiery, a little more sparky. And no planetary aspects on August 3rd, but a very, very busy lunar day and a quick moving day with some adjustments that need to be made. There's like 4 trines that day. So things could just happen very, very quickly, like just falling into place on the 3rd. And then the 4th of August, the moon comes into a T-square with the node. So that makes that a very fateful day. Paying attention to these places where the cosmic course corrections want to come in because we are setting up for our next eclipse cycle that's coming up in September. So many more things on the docket here in the astrology, and I'm always happy to be here in the Cosmic Community Astrology. I am your galactic ambassador, Stacy Dredd, and I hope you have a really great week, and I will be talking to you again very soon. Take care. Peace. Thank you for listening to the Cosmic Community Podcast. More can be found at kpov.org/thecosmiccommunity.